In a world where rankings reign supreme and the ambition of being number one consumes everyone, Hiroto stands before the school on the Academy Island, taking the position as the new Academy's envoy. As a member of the privileged few owning the 7-star rating, he emanates an aura of arrogance, proudly declaring his superiority over all others. With maximum confidence, he confronts his other classmates, daring them to show their value by fighting him head-on. But as he ends his statement, a feeling of terror floods over Hiroto backstage, thinking that it was all a sham. As he checks his social media, he is met with a rush of new remarks identifying him as a loser. Attracted girl walking by, he reaches out to her for aid. He explains that he is a freshly arrived transfer student who arrived only the day before and is now lost. Sympathetic to his dilemma, Sarasa politely points him the location of the academy on the map. Sensing his unfamiliarity as he skipped the tutorial, she adds that by utilizing his device, he may access the names and relevant information of persons, but only if they possess a lesser level than him. The player's rank is decided by the accumulation of stars obtained via participating in competitive matches against one another. Among all the grades, the desired position of 7 stars stands as the pinnacle of distinction on the island. The device also has its own social networking software called Stock, which students use to communicate. She also shows him the Game Request app to play competitive matches. Since Hiroto is a novice, Sarsa offers to take him the route to his academy for the orientation. Sudden reality dawns over Sarsa. Her own orientation is about to occur, and just as she bids Hiroto farewell, the adjacent sprinkler malfunctions, abruptly dousing Sarasa with a waterfall of water. Sarasa's emotions awaken, and suspicion floods over her. I wondered whether Hiroto had purposely orchestrated the sprinkler mishap. Despite his attempts to disavow any motive, Sarasa finds the developing events too unusual to dismiss. She forcefully points out that Hiroto couldn't possibly be clueless to everything, accusing him of leading her on all this time. Although he attempts to explain himself, Sarasa cuts him off, thinking that he engineered this scenario to shame her. Sarasa insists that he arrange a big game between them, emphasizing that the request must originate from a lower-ranked player. Complying with her, Hiroto sends her a game request but skips the necessity to clarify the details, forgetting that the lower-ranked player should pick the game to maintain fairness. Sarasa sees this error as an insult, interpreting Hiroto's actions as a mocking, meaning he can triumph over her in any game she picks. However, the truth is far from that assumption. Hiroto just has no idea what he's doing. Sarasa launches a game, turn-based gazing contest on hard difficulty. In this game, the purpose is to avoid displaying any emotion, as the one who does would lose. Taking turns, they can display any facial expression they choose in an attempt to evoke a reaction from one other. Hiroto anxiously anticipates the start of the game, but Sarasa expresses amazement that he hasn't even picked an ability yet. She emphasizes that an ability may dramatically alter the result of the game. This prompts Sarasa to worry whether Hiroto is even taking her seriously. With Hiroto permitted 1 minute to provoke a reaction from Sarasa, she swiftly utilizes one of her talents to decrease his time to a scant 10 seconds. This surprising turn amazes Hiroto, and his turn closes before he even gets a chance to blink. It is now Sarasa's turn, and she employs another power, summoning a sword and brandishing it as a method to assault Hiroto, seeking to elicit any type of reaction from him. Amidst the game, Sarasa is happy that her damp clothing are gradually drying, sparing her from attending the orientation in a saturated state. However, fate has other ideas when once again the sprinkler malfunctions, soaking Sarasa in water. At the same moment, Hiroto's turn starts once again. Sarasa discloses that she was expected to deliver a statement as the Academy representative, but she thinks of doing so while soaking wet and feeling the attention of the spectators, making Sarasa ashamed and losing her the game. As a consequence, the star's ownership is passed from Sarasa to Hiroto, causing the spectators startled that the Empress lost. At this point, a butler approaches Hiroto, letting him know that the headmistress desires to see him. The headmistress, Natsume, remarks that he has caused quite a problem with his triumph over Sarasa. The game he played with Sarasa was not a typical game. It turns out that Sarasa is the only 7-star player on the island. She obtained the greatest admission exam score ever without losing a single game since her enrollment. What's more, her grandpa Masamune is the creator of Academy Island and is presently the main director of the island, making her the VIP of the VIPs. That's who Hiroto beat, an inconsequential man like him, a commoner, an NPC, barely making it into the academy. Natsume emphasizes that Masamune will do anything to safeguard his family's name, so there's only one way to repair this situation. She will make Hiroto a 7-star. Since Masamune wouldn't be as furious if he heard that Sarasa was defeated by someone on her level, Natsume urges Hiroto to examine his gadget. The star he stole from Sarasa is red. Only 10 or 15 unusual stars like this one have been confirmed on the island. It has a particular impact. The red star permits Hiroto to make a falsehood about anything. So the strategy Natsume has come up with is that Hiroto would tell a fib about being a bogus 7-star on his very first day. Natsume asks him the purpose for coming to this island, and Hiroto admits that his objective is to find someone. Therefore, he needs to embrace Natsume's strategy and become the strongest player. Immediately following Hiroto's remarks, Natsume congratulates him on a job well done in conducting that psychological fraud, separating his inner sentiments from his outer demeanor. Natsume gives him the location to his new dorm and sends him on his way. On his way there, Sarasa draws him into an alley, propelled by her conviction that he plans to disclose her secret after basking in the spotlight of his previous speech. Pleading for his forgiveness, she implores him to spare her, offering to fulfill any request he may have provided he refrains from disclosing her secret. However, unbeknownst to Sarasa, Hiroto remains absolutely oblivious about the situation at hand. She is convinced that he understands that she isn't the real Sarasa. Due to the red star he got from her, she has adopted Sarasa's identity and served as her doppelganger at the academy for the last year, revealing her actual name as Rina. In a peculiar twist, whomever obtains the red star gains the capacity to speak one lie, with the next recipient of the star knowing what that lie is. Hiroto confesses that he genuinely had no knowledge about her being a duplicate. He really got to the island just yesterday, and he still can't even operate the gadget. He discloses that his actual rank is 1, and he is using the red star to imply he's a 7-star, leaving Sarasa astonished. He isn't the strongest on the island. He won the game by mistake, and he didn't know her secret, meaning that she did this to herself. A lovely epiphany also comes to Hiroto. Since she is a double, she isn't truly Masumune's grandchild. Thus, there was really no purpose for him to become a 7-star in the first place. Finally locating the hostel, which is more like a house, Hiroto is met by a maid who calls him master. She is gorgeous. Startled by Hiroto's abrupt entrance, the girl rapidly composes herself and introduces herself as Shirayuki. She discloses that she attends the same academy as Sarasa in District 3, and per Natsume's directions, she will work as his live-in assistant from this day forward. Although Hiroto hadn't imagined living with a female, they both admit that the ultimate culprit behind their current circumstance is none other than Headmaster Natsume. Recognizing their common dilemma, Hiroto tells Shirayuki not to set him on a pedestal and pushes her to behave more normally around him, to which she easily agrees. To Hiroto's amazement, Shirayuki prepares a delightful dinner, leaving him in awe of the generous portions and delectable taste. His genuine surprise causes Shirayuki to blush, adding a touch of charm to the moment. Later, Shirayuki explains that the mansion prevents unauthorized access once it is offline. Since he used a red star to become a fake 7-star, he's basically a scam artist. If a word gets out, his life is over. On the Academy Island, apart from District 0, each district houses a single academy, amounting to a total of 20 academies. Every year, these academies undergo ranking evaluations, with each rank bestowing a range of benefits. The ranking is heavily influenced by the students, particularly those with stars, as their contributions hold significant weight. Those possessing 5 or more stars are regarded as advanced students. Furthermore, if an academy boasts a student with 7-star status, it is almost guaranteed to secure a top position in the rankings. However, a daunting challenge lies ahead for Hiroto. Realistically speaking, he possesses a mere 1-star rank. The rank reflects on his abilities. Engaging in battles against other players will feel the same as fighting a boss as a level 1 player. This is where Shirayuki steps in, as she and her team are committed to providing Hiroto with unwavering support for the next 2 years. Their support extends beyond merely winning sports. It involves different elements of his daily life as well. Shirayuki proceeds to offer a beneficial strategy to Hiroto. By clicking his game icon, he may examine all the game requests he has received. She tells him to accept a game request set for the next morning, aggressively silencing those who still retain doubts about his ability. This specific game will act as a tutorial, displaying the usefulness of their aid. However, the plan entails winning by cheating. Shirayuki offers Hiroto an earpiece, and one of her team members assures him that she will hack into the opponent's gadget, enabling them control to manipulate the game in their advantage. Undoubtedly, such activities are against the regulations, but Hiroto is determined to do whatever it takes to attain his ultimate aim and deceive everyone around him. The following morning, Hiroto effortlessly overwhelms his opponent in the game. Finding sanctuary in an alley, he exhales a relaxed sigh, pleasantly astonished at how easy he emerged triumphant. Grateful for the great assistance offered by his team, he expresses his thanks to them before immediately making his way to school. On his way to class, he sees his class president Fuka and his classmate Yuki. Hiroto's enrollment has received such excitement that the class even conducted a contest to select who would have the honor of showing him around. Just as Fuka and Yuki begin to dive more into the competitive aspect of their academy, Shirayuki phones, notifying him of a highly advantageous game request. The game is a key event held by the Liber Company, which operates the news app LNN and the streaming app YouTube, as well as conducts huge gaming events. Hiroto's opponent for this particular match is Haru, who boasts a good 3-star level. Adding to the excitement, Sarasa, today's special guest, will deliver informative analysis throughout the game. Haru chose the anything-goes 100-meter race, where no regulations are applied from start to finish. Confident in her upcoming win, Urasaka displays an aura of self-assurance. However, Hiroto shares her resolve, proudly asserting that he won't endure loss in whatever game handed to him. Urasaka flicks her fingers, exposing her impressively equipped bike with a turbo boost. Despite the spectacular performance, Hiroto remains unmoved outwardly, that is, he is determined to beat her on foot. Before the race begins, Haru comments that anything he has planned won't work since her ability to nullify interference is activated. However, Hiroto demonstrates an enthusiasm to proceed, evidently mocking Haru's warning. As the race commences, it first looks as though it would terminate in the blink of an eye. Yet, with just a single stride from Hiroto, Haru is abruptly sent hurtling through the air, ultimately landing safely on a cushioned platform. In an arrogant tone, Hiroto exclaims that the win is far too easy. Shirayuki's pre-match plan involves arming Hiroto with complete Disable Level 1 in all 3 slots, significantly negating Haru's defensive ability. The remainder of the scheme hinged on the smart work of their team of hackers. To the public, Hiroto openly reveals that he deployed complete Disable Level 7 followed by Force Stop. Additionally, he created a safety device to safeguard Haru's well-being, preventing any injury. In this fashion, Hiroto emerges successful in the game with effortless ease, literally. Not witnessing his humiliation while delighted because he didn't experience defeat, she maintains that the only person who is authorized to defeat Hiroto is herself. However, this announcement serves as a flimsy excuse for Rina to surreptitiously send him a note urgently asking a meeting. Prior to their contact, Hiroto begs Shirayuki to temporarily quit watching him, and Sue meets up with Rina at a discreet cafe. Curiosity aroused, Hiroto inquires about Rina's secret. She discloses that the actual Sarasa was kidnapped over a year ago, with the offender making no requests. As a close friend of Sarasa's, Rina was charged with taking her identity to evaluate the kidnapper's next move. She confesses that youngsters from the Seonji family seldom travel outdoors until high school, with friends and teachers expressly allocated to them. Consequently, relatively few folks are familiar with the true Sarasa's looks. Rina smoothly adopted Sarasa's position, assisted by her lack of acquaintance with the genuine Sarasa's face. Uncertain about the actual Sarasa's future return, Rina is determined to defend Sarasa's reputation till then. She underlines that if Hiroto were to lose his Red Star, all the past lies spoken by previous Red Star holders would be exposed, stressing the importance of his continuous success. Hiroto elaborates on the significance of keeping both of their secrets, disclosing to Rina his mission to seek his boyhood buddy, whom he believes is somewhere on the island. In order to do this and avoid being ejected from the island, he must maintain the facade of being the strongest. Recognizing the compatibility of their interests, Hiroto and Rina create an alliance, agreeing to keep in connection and exchange their IDs for future contact. The following day, as they come on campus, they take the role of foes in the eyes of everyone around them. However, their masquerade is disturbed when an eerie laughing grabs their attention, leading them to divert their concentration towards its source.